Hey guys, it's Danielle again. So we have our next patient here for fillers, and what we're going to do is just kind of enhance a little bit all over. So she's had filler before, and what we really want to do is just soften the tiny little bit in her under eye. And to do that, as you guys have seen already, we're going to accentuate just a tiny bit of lift onto the cheek, then work the under eyes, the folds, and the lips. I might even add a tiny little bit to her chin. She has a nice shape, but I want to give her just a little bit of projection. So I'm going to start up with the cheeks. Go ahead and place your head all the way back. Good. And then go ahead and smile for me and relax. So it's always good to assess your patient moving and at rest. You want to see how their musculature and their distribution of tissue changes as they make facial expressions. So that's a big component of the assessment and evaluation even before you start. Smile one more time for me. Good and relax. And that's important also in determining what filler you pick for which area. So like we talked about picking fillers that move well and have nice fluidity to them. That's important around the mouth. For places like the cheek, I want to pick a filler that is very resilient to gravity and pressure. So restful and lift is perfect for rebuilding or building and enhancing structure. So for her cheeks, we're using lift. It's great for the chin and the jawline as well. Smile again for me. Good, relax. And we're using these depot injections deep right onto bone. Just following her natural cheekbone and lifting it. Smile again. Relax. She probably can hear a little bit of it. Smile again and relax. And right up front for support. Deep on bone. Good. Okay, so the next filler we're going to be using is Restylane Define. And so this is another filler that's great for structure. It's going to be very resilient to pressure, but also it doesn't have quite as much of that stringy effect as the Refine does. So I'm going to use this similarly to the previous patient, deep on bone to elevate here. So I am going to work laterally first, building up a little of this structure here, filling in the loss of volume that we tend to see lateral to the orbit. And the cool thing about filler is that you really can see the tissue lift up as you're working with it. So under eye filler is actually the first thing that got me really intrigued by filler in the first place. I was always someone who had really hollow under eyes, and when I was first inquiring about how to remedy it, it was told to me that the only option would be a fat transfer. And that was not sitting well with me 10 years ago. So when we started using filler and getting really creative on where we placed it, and tear trough filler came up, I was incredibly excited by that. And now it's something that I do constantly for patients and friends and family. Feeling any pain?
Oh, no.
Just weird pressure?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a little bit deeper. And again, you can see sort of this little ridge here, the differentiation between her cheek elevation, the trough, and her under eye. And so I'm going to be putting my needle right in there, right onto bone, and you can watch the skin elevate.
Yeah, she's fit. I think she's perfect.
Are you gonna use a cannula for her?
I might. You probably will. And here you can hear that little crackles. The needle is going deep on bone, so we are passing through a couple layers, the muscle, the fat.
Good.
Squeeze in here. Look up for me.
Tell her if you get enough food, then take some. Bye.
Hi, Dr. Emer.
Good to see you. What a great model you have.
Good one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So calm and collected. Being late? My assistant's snoozing on the job.
So that she wants you.
Okay, so. You know, it's a million more pose.
Are you feeling anything, or is the numbing working?
Yeah, my face is completely numb.
Right there. All the way back. Okay, so we're going to incorporate the cannula now. I find a little hole here. So we introduce the access site with a needle, and then we replace it with a blood tip cannula. So once it's inserted under the skin, you really shouldn't feel any pain. You might feel the manipulation, but if you look right in here, you can actually see where the cannula is advancing to in this medial aspect of her tear trough. And you can see that my cannula is lifting and filling this loss of volume right here. And we're just going to lay some lines down here really slowly. This adds a different level of volume from what we just did. We worked very deep, and now we're bringing it back up. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe any questions?
Nope. No questions. A lot of hearts.
A lot of hearts. Hearts are good. You really are such a good patient. So this is what Dr. Emer was saying, that with the cannula you can bring it up into the lateral aspect of the orbit. So right now my cannula is right up here.
Have you ever used a Volbella for the under eye?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I've used everything under the, well, within reason. I've used everything from, go ahead, from Voluma, Define, even a little bit of Radius around the under eye. Again, the under eye now, there's so many supporting features. That's not just the tear trough itself. For just the tear trough, you do want to use something that's soft and delicate, but there's also the aspect of building the structure around it. So, you know, whether it's a larger volume filler, I always like to describe them as being on the totem pole from thick to thin, and there's a lot of other things that go into it, but any filler, as long as it's placed correctly, the right amounts and the right anatomy, they're pretty flexible and versatile, and then it's up to the injector and the patient together to choose what's best. And when I say the patient, there is involvement regarding wanting a filler that has a little bit more longevity than others. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can decide what's best for the patient. If they are someone who are very comfortable with fillers and want something that's going to last a little longer, or they're still kind of trying to get their feet wet and want something that will be short term just to see how they like it, which they always love it, then you opt for something that doesn't last quite as long. So we're building up this just medial to lateral portion of the cheek here. Right now my cannula is right up here in the lateral portion of the eye. Feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and sit back. Okay. Under eyes look good. Building some volume. So I'm going to move down here to her chin. And again, here we just want to bring out a little bit more projection. We don't need to do too much building, but just some soft enhancing. So the first few pokes are going to be deep, and then we'll soften throughout the marionette area, move over to the folds. This scar down here?
Mm-hmm.
What's that from?
Cold water.
How much CC is she getting?
In total, probably 6 or 7. So what I want to do now is just do a little bit of softening around her chin because she does have some nice projection. Just soften this area right in here. This is an area that as we get older, we do tend to lose volume. So enhancing with a little bit of a defining filler can be really great. For some people, it's just mild softening, and others we want to actually elevate and really lift up. Because I don't want to do too much to her chin, I'm actually just going to elongate laterally, and this will enhance her jawline. So we have a nice little pick me up here. a nice smooth transition here. That's a very youthful aspect of our facial features because typically as you age with gravity and the loss of volume and laxity, you develop some jawline. So being able to fill in that line really softens the appearance of the lower face. So why don't you got a little bit of pop on it, please?
Yeah, the worst part is the fumes from the alcohol.
Oh, sorry. It's true.
Yeah, otherwise
It's true.
not at all.
I did. I'm usually a nut about cleaning, but it's good. I always want to be nice and clean. Last little bit, guys, is just going to be to soften the folds. It is definitely dependent on everyone's individual need, but softening sometimes can just help to minimize the heaviness of our mid-face. Some people naturally have that, so you can just go in with a little bit of filler and make the look a little bit more youthful, a little bit softer. Oh, we're doing lips. I forgot about that. What that hair on my lips? Feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we're softening here. We can always come back in with a more fine line filler and come for these superficial lines. We are not going to do that with the refine, but just sort of softening more of the irregularities here. Okay, let's stop there and take a peek. I'm gonna grab a little bit more filler and we'll continue. A little red. I'll give this to you.
Oh, wow.
So you can see that there's more volume right in here through your under eyes. A little bit of softening of the folds, just some minor projection in the chin, and a little bit of lift to your lateral cheeks.
So you haven't called it again. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty guys, so that was a little bit of full face enhancement. We're gonna check that all out and then get back to her lips. So thanks for watching. Have a great night, everybody. If you have any questions, let us know.